So it seems that in this world, different people have different goals. Everyone has something different which they are trying to achieve. My goal is something to achieve. It's very different from the next person. Each one has a different goal. So each one pursue that goal and do all that is necessary that he is successful, she is successful. And we create all kind of safeguards so that we don't fail. So the ultimate goal is to succeed in whatever I'm pursuing. So what we typically do is, if I'm an artist, I want to be successful in art. If I'm a businessman, I want to be successful in business. If I am an athlete, I want to be successful in whatever sports. But we never think about, so we prepare ourselves for success, but we never prepare for failure. But we all know that there will be successes and failures in life. But then if you ask somebody, why are you so hung up on this success part of it? And the answer will be, because that will make me happy. If I'm successful, I'll be happy. So what will happen when you fail? Well, when I fail, I'll be unhappy. So entire life, what we do is pursue happiness and avoid unhappiness. No matter what my goal is, what I'm pursuing is happiness. And if you ask anybody, a person who is either successful in our eyes or unsuccessful in our eyes, if you ask him, are you really successful? And he said, yeah, I'm successful. But are you happy? And the chances are the successful people may be the most people who will say, no, I'm not happy. So what is it that makes us happy or unhappy is something we have never learned. We thought that being successful will make me happy. So we prepare ourselves to be successful. We teach our kids everything we think will make them successful. We fail to teach them how to be happy. And we say, why do you not want to be unhappy? He said, I don't want to be unhappy because I want to be happy. Now, why do you want to be happy? Because that is my real nature. So if I am healthy, that's my real nature. I'm normally healthy, I'm happy. When I'm unhealthy, then I say, call the doctor, let me go to the hospital. That's the time I start complaining and saying, let me take care of it. Because that's not my natural state. Natural state is being healthy. So nobody gets up in the morning and says, let me go to the doctor today because I'm feeling so good. Let me, doctor, find out why I'm feeling so happy, healthy. Nobody does that. Because that's my natural state. It's only when I'm not healthy, I want to go to the doctor. The same way, happiness is our real nature. Therefore, we want to avoid unhappiness at any cost. We try to make sure that we are not unhappy, but we have never realized what makes us unhappy. If the success and failure is related to happiness and unhappiness, that's what we all thought. But when we became successful, we found out that that's not giving me happiness. So happiness is something different than being successful. So happiness is something different than being accomplished in your profession or in your art or in your sports. That is the training which our scriptures give us. Our sages found out that no matter what your goal is, it may seem different from everybody else, but your goal is to be happy. Why do you want to do this? Because I want to be happy. The answer is universal. Everyone will say, I'm doing this because it makes me happy. He said, how long you want to be happy? Is it okay if I'm happy Monday through Friday and unhappy Saturday and Sunday? He said, no. Is it okay? No. How about other way around? If I'm happy during the weekend but unhappy during Monday through Friday, is it okay? How about I'm happy at school but not happy at home? Is that okay?
No.
No. How about I'm happy at home but not happy at school? No. Right? So when do you want to be happy? All the time. We all want to be happy all the time. Even kids figured that out.
No playing,
But we have to learn how to be happy.
Need to learn
We learn that
self-control.
success and failures are not really related to happiness at all. Successful people are very unhappy. There may be in our eyes very unsuccessful person, but he may be very happy. So it is the art of being happy is what our scriptures teaches us. So we are like a person who has bought a new car. So when I buy a new car, if I don't refer to the manual, then that's a problem. So we as human beings also, when we took birth, we have this equipment for body, mind and intellect, and we're using it, but we didn't have any owner's manual when we were born. Well, these days at least, the new parents have all these guidance books. In our days, those books were not there, or we were not aware of them. So all the babies came without any manual, user's manual. So we are human beings, we think we don't have user's manual, how to use my body, how to use my mind, how to use my intellect. But our sages says there is manual, is our Shruti, our scriptures. And boil down all those scriptures into a succinct cliff notes is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the wisdom of all the Upanishads and Vedas. So the Bhagavad Gita becomes a user's manual. So Bhagavad Gita is a sacred book, not in a sense that it should be in a puja room and worship it, but it is like an owner's manual. You have to use it every time and every day, how to use your body, mind and intellect. So I give this example, a real life example. I used to have a car, a Honda little car, and we kept it for a while. After a while I had other cars, so we never used it. My son wanted to use it, so we kept it when he was 15 or 16. After leaving that car for many years outside in the sun, we decided we were going to sell it. Color was fading outside, seats were in bad shape. Engine was in good shape, we never drove that car that much. So I found a buyer. And buyer was very happy. It's a low mileage, good condition car, good price. So he was telling somebody, I got a good deal and a good car. And I thought, well, let me then give him all the owner's manual. So I went up and said, well, wait a minute, I have all the owner's manual, I'm going to come and give it to you so you can use them. And owner's manual were in a mint condition. There was not a mark on their owner's manual. I was so proud that I'm giving him all the fresh. And the guy said, then Neil, do you know that had you opened this owner's manual and taken care of your car as the owner's manual say, your car would have been in a condition your owner's manual is in. And your owner's manual will be in a condition your car is in right now. So Bhagavad Gita is the owner's manual. You have to start using it from day one till your last day. So you have to start learning Bhagavad Gita right from your childhood and use it every time. And it does not need to be in a puja room. So what Swami Chinmaya has created, a plan where entire family can learn the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita in a very at your own level. So we have Bal Vihar, which teaches how to learn Bhagavad Gita in the adult classes.
My experiences here, how I became a member and sort of my journey into this, and what is sort of the takeaway, like why do I keep coming here? Maybe that's something that you may want to take away as well as you are deciding to join. So the way I joined here was pretty interesting. There was no flyer or anything that I saw. None of there was no Saraswati Puja. It was a friend of mine who told me about this yoga and pranayam class that happens here in Chinmaya Mission. It is taught by Mr. Pandiji. He's unfortunately not here today. So I've been doing yoga for a long time, as my dad taught me when I was in school. So it's a bit of a curiosity I had to, learn, and of course I had no training prior in pranayam whatsoever. So I took that class, this was way back in 2011. And I can tell you this, probably if I look back into the last 10 years, it's one of the best decisions I think I have made in my life, because a lot of the changes that have happened that I have seen myself, and look, seeing is believing. People can talk all day, but till the time you see the change within yourself, you find it very hard to convince, like, is this real? So I have seen a lot of changes. I'll give you a very, very short example. I know in the booklet that is given, it says a very brief, There'll be three speakers who will very briefly tell you about themselves, so I'll try to keep it very brief. But I've been here in the US since 2002. I came here, I came here to school. So a couple of years into my stay here, I used to get this problem in my eyes. My eyes would suddenly get red, and I didn't know really what to do with it. Allergy or whatever. I've seen a lot of doctors. They would give me this steroid, and I would put it in the eye, and it would just go away in a day. And we have a lot of doctors here, but lots of testing, like years. And as I was doing this class, I told Pandiji, like, you see, I have this problem. And he told me, there's a problem, you're taking medicines. I was not taking like medicines regularly or anything like that, but whenever that would happen, I would do it. He said, oh, you know what, your body is actually quite weak. That's why your eyes are becoming red. I'm like, it's interesting, very interesting perspective he shares. I said, look, I run marathons and I do all of these things, and he's like, no, that's very different. You keep doing this and it'll go away. I said, okay, that's very, it's very reassuring. But trust me, it's not, I don't know what, I'm not a doctor. I mean, we have a few here, but it's never happened. Like I've been doing, we've been, practicing, pranayama and yoga, fairly regularly. But things like this, which is till the time you experience or feel it, you kind of, it becomes a little hard to believe. But that's how my journey really started. But at the end of the class, he told me that there's a Gita study group here that you should join, and that will make your sort of class that you've taken more perfect, right? Your class is incomplete till the time. So again, I have, like most people here, have heard about the Gita. Never really, read it in detail. I used to, hear my mother, she used to chant the Gita fairly regularly. We used to talk about it. But again, that's been an awesome experience. Every Sunday we come here, as Neilji talks about, makes you introspect, makes you contemplate of the kinds of things you're doing. It's very easy to get caught up in sort of the mundane, Monday to Friday, your work and there's family and so many things. But the ability to pull yourself up and think of what is it that you're doing, I think that thing that we get here in the Gita class, where it's not just a one-way, discourse where somebody is just telling you something. We have someone will do that, like, Neilji, for example, will talk about a few verses. There'll be a volunteer who will talk about the next 3 verses. And I think the beauty of this is we'll go around the room and discuss. And everybody will come up with sort of their own interpretations and things that they have either learned or they could do. And I think the power of that is awesome. It's just an awesome power, that's why it's not called a Gita class. It's a Gita study group, as opposed to a class which can at times feel more like a one-way discourse. So again, I've been coming here and as a result of that, so yoga class, then you have the Gita study group, and then of course as a result of that my son has started attending Bal Vihar. So we've gone in a very interesting fashion, which is a lot of people start with Bal Vihar and then Gita class or whatever. But I've personally enjoyed it, and if I were to pull up and sort of figure out the so what, or what do I get out of this, see, we all are leading pretty busy lives. Time is of course a very sort of a very valuable resource and probably the most binding constraint for most people. The question is, how do we want to spend? We all want time for leisure, we all want time to socialize and relax. I think what Chinmaya Mission to me has provided, to me and my family has provided, is a venue or a place where we can spend quality time in sort of uplifting ourselves, and as Neilji says, sort of your manual of life, understanding how can we become better every day. It's very easy to spend your time gossiping and those things at times have their own things, but I think this is, personally for me, it's been a fantastic experience. I think both me and my family, we've enjoyed a lot, and like I said, the thing that I gain the most is, this is every single class or every single activity you will do, the focus is how do you get better? How do you get better at what you're doing? So that to me is sort of the punchline. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pulkit Iyer. I'm a current freshman at Maggie Walker Governor School, and I've attended Chinmaya Mission here for about 10 years. We have 4 classes here at Chinmaya. We have our youngest class for 4 to 6-year-olds, where they learn about a modified version of like the alphabet safari, where like each letter stands for a different word, except here we use spiritual words, such as like A for Arti, B for Bhagwan, and so on. They also learn some short stories with positive morals about how like not lying, don't cheat, and are given some time each class for some arts and crafts. The second class we have here is for 7 to 9-year-olds, which teaches them Puranic stories and the symbolism behind them and spiritual meaning. Our third class, which is 10 to 13-year-olds, they're taught of the Bhagavad Gita and its teachings about the way you should live your life. Our final class, the one I currently attend, which is for 14-year-olds all the way up to high school seniors, teaches the why part of everything. We take epics such as the Mahabharata and discuss why each character made the decision that they did. We relate these decisions and some of the scenarios to current world issues right now, or current scenarios that are happening right now. In addition to our 4 classes, the Chinmaya Mission also holds annual Gita chanting competitions where students are assigned a certain chapter and told to recite about 8 to 10 shlokas with some sort of summary about their meanings. We also hold annual Republic Day and Independence Day celebrations, as well as pujas for Janmashtami and Mahashivratri. There's a Saraswati Puja every year, such as the one we had today, and it occurs usually at the beginning of the school year. And we have an annual day where each class creates some sort of drama or skit pertaining to some story or teaching of some moral value. I feel like this Chinmaya mission is great because it really taught me of my culture and heritage. Last year at school, we had a unit on Hinduism, and because of what I learned here, I was able to spot errors that the school that was in like the text the school provided and tell them to my teacher so that she could fix them and accurate information was taught. I could also clarify some of the more advanced or confusing concepts for the rest of the class. Finally, Chinmaya Mission has really taught me how to live my life and what morals and values I should hold closest to my heart. Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to introduce all the teachers. So if the teachers can all come on this side. And I'll start with Meena. And come, all teachers, please come on this side. So I can introduce you, so they all know. And after this, we'll have somewhat of a informal. You can float around. I'll start Swamiji's video, which you can watch in this room. And then other rooms have a podcast, which we have a Gita for Daily Living podcast, which you can hear and subscribe. And we have whatever activities. So I'll start with Meena. She is the coordinator Bal Vihar, and she teaches the Sundaram class. Sonal, she teaches the Shivam class, which is, I guess the age group would be 7 to 9. So Meena will be 10 to 13. Then Ruchik, he teaches the senior class. 13 and above. Then we have Lavanya and Belaben, who teaches the youngest class, the Satyam class, so which is the 4, 5, and 6. So give big hands to all the teachers. Lavanya is actually a Chinmaya child. She grew up in Chinmaya Mission. And now she will be the
She was taking part
teacher.
in the Gita chanting competition and won the prize from Gurudev.
Yeah, from Gurudev. So
We are so happy.
we are
to have her.
very glad to allow her.
One
She's
day she
starting with
called.
this year as a teacher in our class. So thank you.
One day she called, "You don't have any Chinmaya mission here?" I said, "No, we have. So my children are missing that, and I really am looking for that." So I said, she said, I was, taking the competition, and I was, learning Gita chanting. I'm teaching also my children. She was teaching the very little kids, chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, and they recited the whole chapter, just like our kids did. So I was very, very happy, and this is not, just a coincidence. It's a God send. This is God works. And whenever there is a need, and if you want something, if the students are ready, then teachers are always available. So we are very happy. So Lavanya, welcome to our teacher team.
Now,